Welcome back to Get Good. Ooh, pardon me. Welcome back to Get Good. We had a game and a half earlier where we saw Reverse taking taking Project D 3-1 in the expert division. But now we're going to be moving on to the rookie division with Lunar Flare versus Nia Ninjas. I'm excited about a second game like the last one.
Yeah, we get to see now where these two teams match up in the bracket right now. This is, I believe, this is our winners finals right here. I could be incorrect about our format, but these are the two teams. They're both 3-0 in this tournament so far. Both have been performing very, very well, and now they get to duke it out with each other. I am actually pretty sure I recognize Lunar Flare. I was talking about this a little bit during the break. In the last season of Get Good, a team called Lunar Soleil won the advanced division that my team played in. And I believe this team is actually associated with them. And from what I remember about Lunar Soleil, they were very well put together, and they had a very, very deep coaching staff. So I would assume that Lunar Flare has something similar. So I'm excited to see what they bring out. This is our rookie division, which means that the level of play isn't going to be as high as our expert division. But honestly, I prefer that. I like Overwatch when I get to see mistakes. That's what keeps things interesting. If everything is played perfectly, sometimes that can get just very like flowcharty, right? In these lower ranked games, we get to see a lot of weird things work for teams. And I really enjoy seeing my Pharahs dive Widowmakers and win. I love seeing Reinhardt's flank and get free shatters. I love the spontaneity factor that we see in these low rank games. So I'm super looking forward to this match right now.
Maybe that's why we like the Chengdu Hunters, probably.
Absolutely. Great example.
We love the Chengdu Hunters, but this is going to be the winner. This is going to be the winners bracket. This should be the winners bracket finals, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to be getting a very high level of play, though each team is going to get a second chance, but every team wants to go into the finals with a advantage. You always want to go into a game with an advantage. So right now, Lunar Flare and the Ninjas are going to be going into this next game looking to get that advantage in their next game. But with Lunar Flare, looking at their roster, I do see a little bit of Reinhardt Diva that we saw from the last game. So we can go ahead and start with Lunar Flare's DPS line. That is going to be Snoop Ferret and Big Al. And then moving on to the tank line, we're going to have Lazy Turtle and Get Somebody. And then finally, we always have the backbone of every single team, which is going to be the support line, which is going to be Regimage and Jack in the Mag.
I think it's Jacket Man.
Jacket Man ATG.
I actually, I do, before we get into the other team, I actually do know a little bit about Snoop Ferret personally. One of the tournaments I run or help run is Outlet. And he's actually not associated with the team, but he's friends with one of the teams there. So I have seen him play a little bit. And honestly, I think he's a pretty solid player. So I look forward to seeing what he can do in this match against the Nia Ninjas, which of course is going to be comprised of the DPS line of Hapsy and No Limit, tank line of Disease and Des Pestodud. That's a hard name to say. And then the sport line is going to be Double Dollar in E4E.
And very excited to look at both of these teams. Again, both of these teams are undefeated, so both of them are going to be playing for an advantage in next week's game, and they're in the next game. I do apologize. And they're going to be playing to keep their undefeated streak in this playoffs alive.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this one plays out. We got to see a lot of brawl in the last match, and given the two team cards we've been given, it looks like both these teams like brawl, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't blame them. Excuse me. Brawl is the best composition in Overwatch. Dive is close second, but Brawl is just a classic, right? The ebb and flow and the amount of characters that are viable in a Brawl composition just make the composition very, very fun to watch. And every role in a Brawl composition has the ability to make plays, right? Mm-hmm. And that just makes the comp so much fun to watch, right? In dive compositions, usually supports can't do that much, right? In a Brawl composition, you get your autos in there, you get those anti-nades, those sleep, those nanos. You can do so much. And I love seeing what teams do with the Brawl compositions, especially in lower ranks, because you can see some really wacky compositions like, I don't know, you could see like Pharah Junkrat, and it works, right? Mm-hmm. You get to see like Echo Torb, and it works, right? And I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Oh.
I love watching just weird Overwatch work.
Weird Overwatch definitely does work. And it is going to be looking like we're going to be going to Lijiang Tower first. So we're going to be getting a little bit of the repeat of the map. Maybe we may actually get to see Garden this time. You know, the most stall-heavy map in Lijiang Tower, which, you know, Brawl versus Brawl, we're definitely going to see some long fights, especially in maybe a little bit lower of a skill division. But hey, you could always get dominance from either team. Brawl is very, very known for just swings of momentum immediately.
Yeah, and that comes down to the fact that, you know, every character in these compositions can make plays. We do see this a lot in lower elos especially, right? In higher elos, Brawl kind of works like if you lose one person, you're going to lose the fight, right? There's not that much fight turning potential because each character's resources are so important for a team to win. But in these lower elos, because of how these teams play and how much slower the pace is, we can see fights get turned by a hero DPS play or a weird positioning mistake from one of the teams. So I'm really excited to see what we get to see here. Looks like both teams are actually going to show Brawl or Ball rather. They're still in Spawn.
Why not?
They have time to change that. I would expect that to change. I can't imagine they're going to be running Brawl on the
Someone pressed the wrong button.
Back to lobby we go.
Someone did press the wrong button. So we're going to be going back to Loggy. English
Is
lobby
hard.
It is very hard.
Difficult language.
It is also my second language. But we're going to be going back to lobby real quick. Looks like we just have a little bit of difficulties, but continuing to talk about what these teams are running. Obviously, we can't take too much from there. They haven't even come out of spawn yet, and Control is very notorious for them going like, we're going to play dive, and they come up with a Reinhardt.
Yes.
So I do expect maybe a Brawl, but if we did maybe even get a Ball, we could definitely see a very, very disruptive type of play style from both teams, kind of hoping that the other really doesn't know how to deal with a disruptive character like Ball.
Yeah, my concern about seeing Ball and low elos, especially when there's two of them and on a circular map like Control Center, is that we just get to see the Joseph Joestar Hammond clacker on point with both those balls just swinging around and no one able to take them out because they can't hit them, right? Now, obviously, the mechanical skill level in this elo is much lower than it is in those higher elos, right? And that's not meant as an insult. It's just like, you know, players with different skill levels get to compete here, right? And especially with Ball having those shields and just all that survivability, Ball is a very difficult character to kill in low elo. Lack of coordination, lack of mechanical skill. It just can survive for a really long time. So what I really don't want to see is two Brawl comps with a Ball, and those balls are just swinging around on point while everyone else is doing their own thing. That's what I don't want to see happen, right? I did say I like Weird Overwatch, but that doesn't mean all Weird Overwatch is created equally.
No, all Weird Overwatch is not created completely equally, but I do kind of look forward to this Lijiang Tower matchup because you could definitely see, and I feel like especially if both teams are going to specialize in Brawl, you're going to see which team kind of has the bigger advantage when it comes to like a Brawl composition. Because let's say Lunar Fire is able to completely dominate, then you're going to be looking at everything and going like, okay, Lunar has the advantage when it comes to Brawl. What is Nia Ninja's going to be able to do coming up? And we're going to be resetting and we're going to be immediately going to Gardens.
Yeah, this
beautiful map in my opinion.
I like Gardens a lot. I think it's my favorite map on Gardens, on Lijiang Tower. We are seeing the Brawl from both sides here. I personally think the double bubble is a little bit stronger here, but like we mentioned, you know, in lower ranks, Brawl is a very popular composition, so both teams will opt for it. And honestly, it can still work here, right? Both teams, what we're going to see here, if they've been coached correctly, both of these teams are going to opt to go to White Room. Actually, no, they both have Sims. They're both going to teleport to point. I lied. I'm sorry.
Not very good at the predicting
you
things
guys
today.
all deserve better.
And they're going to be teleporting to point. We do have a Junkrat Nuke Ferret going to just be spamming into the White Room, hoping to get somebody in. I don't think a Doomfist is going to work too well into this Junkrat, especially coming in from White Room where you only really got one way to go. Unless you can catch somebody kind of just standing in front of their tanks. I don't know if the Doomfist is really the best idea right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hard unless he gets the bubbles and didn't get it that time. He's going to fall down immediately.
Fall down immediately, get somebody going to be charging in, swing, and they're going to be able to take, the Ninjas are going to be able to take a dominant first point. And now I think right now Lunar Flare just needs to kind of just switch it up, maybe lose the Doomfist, or if he's going to be going in, he shouldn't be going in with his team right now. And
yeah,
I know
would
that's
definitely like to see something more of like an echo. There's no hit scan on the side of Nia Ninjas right now, which I think they can exploit with an aerial composition.
Oh, but they are going to get the boot!
Oh my goodness!
Oh, Jacket!
That was some shades of FD God right there, and honestly, you'll love to see it. That's actually going to be really important, not just for the kills, but also because he was kind of lacking in that ult charge. His team didn't really take a lot of damage that he could heal up, and now he's got that sound barrier. So that's actually a huge play there from Jacket Man. Gets his ultimate, and now Nia Ninjas is in a really, really good spot here going into this third fight.
Yeah, and now Espada almost coming up on the barrier, and they're just going to be pushing in directly into a hammer, fire strike and hammer. Oh, they're not even going to be able to. Nia Ninjas is just going to push it or come in and do everything wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. I don't think that went too well for them, and now. Excuse me, I've been calling the teams by the wrong names, haven't I?
I have been too. If it makes it feel any better, we're both wrong.
It happens to the best of us, but it also happens to me. And now Lunar Flare here, sitting very, very pretty. This is going to be final fight territory here for Nia Ninjas. And with that supercharger and that sound barrier available for Lunar Flare, I think they're just in way too good of a position to lose this fight.
Yeah, and they're going to be going over the mid-bridge again. And No Limit Disease going to go off the edge. And Espada is walking forward. So much damage, so little time, and Nia Ninjas is going to be faltering on their first point of Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, despite how I was saying it the entire match, Nia Ninjas definitely did not play that as well as they needed to. Lunar Flare coming out with a really good composition, very good strategy. You could tell that they had planned that out, and Nia Ninjas just a little bit too late making their swaps, and now we will be going on to Night Market 1-0. For Lunar Flare here, and this favors the composition that Lunar Flare was already playing. We know that they will be good at this composition on this map because they were good at it on the last one. So it comes down to what adjustments are Nia Ninjas going to make. I do like actually that they have the Doomfist here because the Doomfist is much better on Night Market, right? It's much easier to get in position to flank, and because the two shields are there, you can go through them pretty easily with your punch and find picks like that. So.
All right, and you're going to see in the bottom right corner that 7 eliminations and over 2,000 damage done already for Snoop Bear, and they're going to teleport directly to point, so we're going to get dueling teleportations. It's probably going to go down. That's where the Doomfist is going to come in handy. Going to get that first pick, and it's Symmetra, but Snoop Bear going to be able to get the Moira, get somebody, going to be slowly burned down. And now Lazy Turtle is going to be the only shield up. And they're going to be trading a couple of picks, but it looks like Nia Ninja is going to have control of the point starting off this turn. And that's a huge bubble, keeping him alive. No Limit going to be taking out Jacket Man. Can't really get that many boots on Night Market anymore, can ya? That's essentially what he's saying, and the Doomfist is going to go in, taking down the Baptiste, but Disease and No Limit is going to be back down as well. And the point is going to flip over to Lunar Flare. The Doomfist was able to take out one. And oh, he almost landed that freaking nade.
Yeah, Lunar Flare did a good job of coming back in that fight, but Nia Ninjas definitely isn't out of this yet. Doomfist is going to have that ult, which means he can play very, very aggressively. What you're going to see him try to do is he's going to try to get out this Baptiste ultimate, or not ultimate, the eye field rather.
Oh, so fair, taking out Disease and No Limit, and Espada's turn, just finishing off Death Rod, and the Doomfist ultimate's not going to really do too much, is it?
Yeah, that was a bit of a poor decision there, teleporting onto point when Snoop Ferret had that Rip Tire there. It's possible they didn't ult track properly and they thought he didn't have it quite yet, and that's probably what happened, to be honest. I can't imagine they would have decided to go in if they knew they had that ultimate, because like you just saw there, it's just a little bit too easy to stop a push solo with that ultimate there. Only mess with the sound barrier.
Sound Barrier's going to start off the fight with the barrier, but No Limit going to be slowly getting burned down by the turrets, and he's trying to build up so much charge, and here comes Espada going down. Shatter going to be taking down No Limit. He's going to be trying to take out the turrets. Beat Truck coming out late for Lunar Flare. Going to save the rest of their team, get somebody. Snoop Bear finally dropping, and the Doomfist taking out as many as he can. The Orisa almost going down. Graviton Surge. Hopefully Hazy can go ahead, take out as many as he can. No Limit as the DPS for Nia Ninjas. Going to be clutching it out on this point. They're going to be able to, looks like they're going to be able to take control unless they can get this contesting Lucio, as I just said, and gonna be able to flip over this point, but that's 84%, 85, 86, almost 90% for Lunar Flare.
Yeah, what I want to see Ninjas do here is be the aggressors. They have this Coalescence and the Doomfist. They have a much more aggressive comp. They don't want to let Lunar Flare get set up with this with this Supercharger. So what I want to see happen here is I want to see them push very aggressively into Lunar Flare with the Coalescence and then use that Doomfist to take care of that Supercharger.
Definitely. And Hapsy is going to be kind of in the back. Hopefully Gaming able to pick someone out. Oh, almost able to pick out Jacket. Oh, but Sue going down. Snow Ferret, Sue Ferret again with a double kill. A huge tire. Espada having to worry about the Doomfist. He's going to go down. Disease, high charge, but not able to do too much. Snow Ferret alone on point, capturing this point with another humongous Riptire.
Yeah, I think that probably spells disaster here for the Ninjas. They're going to be on a transitional comp. They need to get a touch with the Shatters there.
You lost your Reinhardt, no shield, Disease, trapped in the trap. So much damage. Stu Barrett already building up to another Riptire. So close. But at this point, Lunar Flare's going to be controlling the point, and I don't think there's too much Nia Ninjas can do at this very moment.
Yeah, I know. It looks like they are going to be out of this one for this map. Looks like Lunar Flare will be taking the first map in our first of 3 series here on Lijiang Tower. That's going to spell defeat now for the Nia Ninjas as we get into our map 2.
What do I walk with? Defeat. And honestly, I think that was just a dominant map by Lunar Flare. They had a couple of moments where they were kind of caught off guard by that Doomfist, but other than that, that was a halt into a beat onto the bridge.
Yeah,
beautiful coordination.
We saw this actually a lot during like the double shield brawl meta. The San Francisco Shock actually was really, really good at this, if you remember, of finding picks like that for Moth. And at the higher elos, we actually do see that halt boot combo become like a reasonable combo in some areas of some maps. And I honestly, I was surprised to see them pull it off as well as they did. But that was just a really, really impressive play there from the Lucio.
It was very impressive. And now looking at this one, obviously, it seems like Lunar Flare has the better coordination, and they're able to get the big plays when they need them. Nia Ninjas is able to adjust. They were able to adjust slightly, but it kind of feels like they were kind of falling behind when it came to the plays that needed to be made.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good assessment. I also think that just the map type was really, really strong for what Lunar Flare was running. And I think Nia Ninjas tried to do some more, I guess, traditional overall compositions compared to Lunar Flare really pushing their advantage with the map geometry with that, the Rhinarissa. And I think once we get into the more open maps, I think Lunar Flare is going to struggle to run that comp. So that could provide an advantage for Nia Ninjas, but we'll just have to see when we get into our next map, which I believe is Escort, if I'm not mistaken.
This one is Escort. We're not going to make the mistake of calling it map 4, and I'm not going to make the mistake of calling map 3 Escort. So
yes. And it looks like both these teams put down Route 66 as their favorite map for this for this map type. So I would assume that we're just going to Route 66, which again,
never know.
Well, yeah, that's true. You never know. Maybe they'll try to counterpick, but I think Route 66 is a good enough answer to that Rhinarissa composition. That Rhinarissa composition is not very good on Route 66. Rhinarissa is good in close quarters in very linear maps that don't have a lot of high ground. And Route 66 is not one of those maps. High ground is very, very important on Route 66. The Reinhardt's just not going to find a lot of value. I would expect more divey compositions or maybe a Rhine Diva from both sides. I think that would be what I expect to see on this map.
No, most definitely. And I just kind of look at this in the sense of, obviously, we did see the Rhinarissa, but Lazy Turtle does have a markdown as a diva for this one, and we're actually going to get Rialto.
And I think Rialto is another map that's a good counter pick. I don't think the Orisa Rhine is as good here, especially not after first point defense, rather.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very good on attack. I don't think it's very good on defense. There's too much high ground, and the Rhinarissa is just too immobile, right? They just can't move around as well as like an Orisa Sigma could or a Rhine Diva could, right? There's just not that good damage mitigation to get them around. Their shields are their cooldowns are too static, right? Orisa doesn't want to move around all the time. She doesn't want to push all the time. She kind of wants to push periodically, right? And that doesn't work with Reinhardt wanting to push all the time, right? So
Reinhardt
yeah,
is definitely going to want to be able to push all the time, and I feel like at this point we're probably not going to see a Ryan Orisa, but we could see a Diva or maybe even a Ball coming out. We did kind of see a little bit of a preview of the Ball, but that may have been, a little bit of joking, but there is definitely something that we could see, and I think Lunar Flare has the coordination to more or less do anything that they want, but I feel like Rialto can definitely lean more toward what Nia Ninjas is trying to do.
Yeah, no, and we'll get to see the comps each of these teams choose here in a second. Looks like we will be getting that Orisa run again from Lunar Flare, and like I mentioned, this is an okay comp to run on first point defense. That first corner, you can get a lot of value out of this close quarters comp. But as soon as that defense gets broken, you have to switch the comp up. You are not going to find value out of this composition on the high ground heavy point that is, second point. And on third point, there's just no reason to run it because there are better options. I do like Nia Ninja's comp. I think that the McCree Doomfist, while not the most orthodox DPS line, gives it a lot of playmaking potential, and it gives that a risky character with that Doomfist who will only occasionally get picks with that high damage output of McCree. It looks like they will actually be switching that over to an Echo though, which does change my opinion a little bit. I don't really know why they'd run a Moira with this.
And now that we do have that Echo, I'm kind of just looking at this one. Nia Ninja's going to be pulling in, hopefully getting as much damage with that Echo as possible, but Lunar Flare kind of sticking to their guns with this composition. They're going to be meeting up at this corner, doing a little bit of damage to each other as much as humanly possible. Lunar Flare going to be backing up a little bit, letting Nia Ninjas having a little bit more space, but right now Lunar Flare needs to be careful about getting surrounded.
Yeah, that's definitely Nia Ninjas definitely does have the advantage in angle control and playing potential. But they Lunar Flare has the advantage of just that pure sustain and that pure holdability with the Rhino Orisa.
Oh, and get somebody. Lazy Turtle going to be getting somebody, but get somebody going to be going down, and so is Espada. We're going to be getting Snoop Ferret taking down Disease, and they're going to be back and forthing a little bit, but right now it seems like the advantage is currently in Lunar Flare's court, though Nia Ninjas does have the closer spawn, so you have to be very careful while holding way too far forward.
Yeah, and this is I really thought that was going to go the way of Nia Ninjas. I thought they did a good job outflanking Lunar Flare, which is what their comp needs to do. They need to find angles with the Echo, with the Doomfist, and just be able to pick off those squishies. And even though they got some picks, and just Lunar Flare being a much more sustainable composition with that BAP, with the high damage of Junkrat, they were just able to turn that one around. And now Nia Ninjas is going to have to find a way to deal with this Riptire coming out from Snoop Ferret.
Oh, that's a beautiful bubble, but it's not going to be able to save. It's not going to be able to save the Reinhardt just in time, and it looks like they're going to just continue to back up a little bit and get somebody. Gets Cesaria with a fire strike, backing off Nia Ninjas, and Jack and Man, just no prisoners, no survivors. You're not getting out of here alive.
Yeah, now Lunar Flare's got a very, very clear ultimate advantage here. The Supercharger and this window, both very, very good ultimates, especially on this map here. I would actually love to see the DPS line and that Baptiste go to the high ground for this window. It looks like they will be opting to stay on the low ground, though, which I think is a bit of a misplay, but they can still find the value if they play it.
I definitely think they can still find the value, especially if they stay across the, what they need to do is stay kind of back, stay away from that high ground. Don't be right under it, because that Doomfist, Candymons, is going to be going to this Junkrat, hopefully getting over that Riptire in time before this duplicate runs out. Perhaps going to be able to take out the Baptiste before he can pop that tire, and Tire's not going to be able to get out. But here comes the Deadeye, not going to catch anybody, but Double Dollar going to be going down. Disease taking out Jack and Man and gets somebody going down to Candymons, and this entire courtyard has now become free, but they do have to be careful. There's plenty of time for Lunar Flare to come back and contest.
Yeah, I would like to see more people get on this card right now, because they need to push it. They have a chance to actually get it there before there's a contest, but with only one person on the card, they're not getting it, and they're not taking space for it.
And now going to become
even Lunar Flare in the fight.
Oh, and he's not going to be able to get it in time. He does get the shatter off. Hapsy taking down two. It's going to cost him his life, but they're going to be able to cap the point because of that shatter.
Yeah, that was a lot closer than Nia Ninjas wanted it to be. That was a good play there from Despesto Stud to get that Shatter off. But again, you know, if you had pushed up farther and prevented the retake, it would have been cleaner. If you had got 3 people on the cart and gotten to the checkpoint before the recontest happened, it would have been cleaner, right? They're just making things a little bit too hard for themselves here, and that makes me worried about their chances in this next fight. They need to be taking space right now.
They really do, and Lunar Flare are going to have that ultimate advantage. Candymon's going to have that duplicate. Not really able to do too much with it last time, but he did duplicate. They did duplicate the Junkrat. So we're going to see where this duplicate comes out this time. Oh, Hapsy going to get taken down.
Oh, the shield. Shield's barely there to save the Baptiste, and now Candymon's is going to give away his life. That was a good idea for the flank. I think it was just really unlucky, the timing of it, getting there right as the Bap was walking through the shield. If not, I think that would have been a clean pick.
It really could have been a clean pick, and now Espada having this Deadeye with a Supercharger and a Riptire, but they do have to be careful for that Graviton Surge coming up. Oh, getting two, and Espada cleaning up disease after all that damage. One ultimate, and that stops their entire push. And now Lunar Flare is going to be coming up with an Earth Shatter as well as a Amplification Matrix. Nia Ninja's kind of falling behind in the ultimate charge race. Candymon's not able to use that duplicate double dollar, really having nowhere to put that coalescence. So right now they need to work. They need to get disease up with that.
Oh, they're in trouble.
Oh, they're very much in trouble. That bubble was beautiful. Super high charge Zarya now going in. They used 2 ultimates for that one. Supercharger still up. Candymon's going to be copying the Orisa, hopefully getting that Supercharger on, trying to get that Orisa down. Candyman slowly, almost down to the duplicate run out. Not going to be able to get a Supercharger on, but able to dislodge them. They were able to dislodge Lunar Flare from that high ground position, and they can finally go ahead and push it a little bit more. They're getting up that high ground position immediately, though, not able to stay up there. And Candymon getting taken down, not able to get out of the door in time.
Yeah, and that was just the case of there was not enough communication there with Candymon that the enemy team was re-pushing that high ground.
What is the Spot doing in their backline? Oh, Hapsy taking out 2! But it doesn't matter. 2 people. Everyone's down. Lazy Turtle, Espada, and get somebody. Get some booty.
And
or able to hold the line, hold them at the corner of death.
Yeah, this just brings us to the age-old question of who would win, 3 ultimates or a single flanking McCree? And the answer, of course, is always going to be that flanking McCree.
It's always going to be the flank Cree.
And that was a really, really nice play there from Espada. That fight around the board.
And they gotta watch out for this Riptire. Beat drop coming out. Hopefully able to save the team. Tire gonna get destroyed by the Ana. Desperado Dud is going to be hopefully getting that shatter. He gets 2. Hopefully able to take down 2. He is jacking man. Espada going down. And looks like at the last second, they're gonna be able to cap this second point.
I mean, that at the final hour, Nia Ninja just comes up with what they need there. I think it was a good switch onto the McCree off the Echo, and that was really what helped them there. The much more consistent damage output from the McCree was really, really effective there. And now Nia Ninja has 1 minute and 20 seconds to push as far as they can on this 3rd point.
They have 1 minute and 20 seconds, but this is definitely one of the harder points to try and push into. You have to push into this one choke, and any flank angles can easily be covered from one. Oh, and Snowfair gonna check out Candymon before he can go ahead and pop that Deadeye. And he's not gonna be able to land that shatter, but the shield goes away. They're gonna be able to push Nia Ninja's back, and Nia Ninja smartly pushing back, trying to get the heck out of there, trying to go ahead and group up and say, okay, we don't need to push into an amplification matrix. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I didn't really like how much Lunar Flare invested into that fight. They did win it, of course, so it's okay, but it was a little bit of an over-investment. Now the ult economy is much more even than they would have liked it to be. Of course, they do have the Supercharger to help charge up all their other ultimates with that extra damage, but it's just getting avoided right now. Like, Nia Ninjas is just walking out of LOS, and now these ultimates, this is now like the 4th ultimate they've used that just got almost no value.
Not really getting too much value, but they are going to have Snoop Barrett hopefully killing anyone who pushes in. Oh, that's one mistake that you cannot take back. And that's going to be 5 seconds, and that should be it. They're able to make it just past point 2 under the awning, under the bridge. And now Lunar Flare has their win condition, but again, this is such a defense-oriented map. It is so hard to get there. Nia Ninjas was barely able to get to that third point.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the last match as well, right? Project D only getting like a point and a half off their opponents, but they were still able to pull out the map win because the way this map is set up, right? You don't need to push it all the way. You just need to push it farther than your opponent. So if Nia Ninjas can come up with a nice defense here, they should be able to take the map anyway, even though they weren't able to get all the way to that third point. If you think about how it was looking for them on that second point, while they were getting hold of that really dangerous corner of death, as you like to call it, it looked like they had no way to win, and they were still able to pull out that second point cap. So they definitely finished farther than what I expected them to do, and I think that will definitely be a motivator for them going into this defense, a little bit of momentum for them to keep up with.
No, and definitely momentum is going to be a factor going into this one, and Nia Ninja's able to completely take back the momentum, capping that point. They may have been stopped, but they were definitely very, very close to losing all semblance of momentum on that second point if they weren't able to cap that in overtime.
Yeah, for sure. And now we will see I'm pretty sure, this is a complete mirror except for the Zarya versus the Orisa. And I'm okay with this on defense. I think it's much more flexible than the Orisa is, especially because the Orisa's on attack. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Lunar Flare has stuck to this comp for every map so far, and it's been working for them.
It has been working for them very, very well, and they're able to take a lot of space. They're not even wanting to stop them at the bridge. Nia Ninja's backing up and kind of giving them all of this space, but then able to trap them in this small little hallway with the Junkrat, and the McCree just pouring down damage. But double dollar, and Candymod's able to take down Espada, and that's exactly the pick that they needed to go ahead and start this fight.
Yeah, that's definitely going to give them an opening here on the defense to find something more.
Oh, Candymons. Oh, but get somebody. Kitsubuti was not able to get that immortality field just in time, but they're still pushing forward. Nia Ninja's still getting backed up, but they should be able to take advantage of this fight. They have more people, more picks, and ooh, Hapsi able to take down Espada, winning that McCree duel.
Yeah, very, very nice from Hapsi, and now Nia Ninjas is set up in a pretty good spot now. After winning that first fight, they have access to some pretty good ultimates now. They will have that High Noon and that Amp Matrix, both of which can be really, really good at punishing mistakes. And, of course, in an elo like this where people do make more mistakes, those are both pretty strong ultimates. So I'm excited to see how Nia Ninjas decides to put things together for this next fight.
Nia Ninjas going forth with 2 ultimates already on this defensive hold. Espada switching over to the Axe, hopefully to deal with this more clubbed up comp. E4E getting taken down. Oh, the Dark Knight is so very, very low. Oh, but Hapsi coming back, getting 2 of his own, but gonna be going down. And now we got 4 people on point, pushing this through the courtyard. Nia Ninjas should be able to get back and contest this point.
Yeah, but they're going to have to do it into both a BAP window and a supercharger, both of which are very, very strong ultimates. And even if they get past those, they have to deal with the sound barrier coming out from the enemy Lucio. This is going to be a really, really Q-heavy fight from both sides.
It's going to be a very Q-heavy fight, and Snoop Ferret going to have that Riptire ready and waiting to go. Not able to take down the Baptiste because of the beat drop, and now Nia Ninja is going to be pushing Lunar Flare back. But here comes the Shatter coming out again right after his death. Oh, the Gyre not able to do much of anything, immediately getting destroyed. And now Lunar Flare going to be pushing forward, doing as much damage as they can. Candymon immediately taking down, gets somebody with that mine going right into his face.
Yeah, both these teams kind of just soft resetting here. It's winnable for both sides. We see a trade here. It just comes down to who can find the advantage.
Yeah, and he's going to be going over to the Zarya, getting as much high charge as possible, but maybe a Zarya into an Orisa Reinhardt, not going to be the best. They're going to be able to cap a point, 3 minutes left, and now this fight is going to continue going on. They need to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice fight win there for Lunar Flare. Good job using the ultimates to secure that fight. Maybe didn't need all of those ultimates, but I like it, especially because Nia Ninjas doesn't have too much in the way of ult combo right now. They have a Riptire and they'll have a High Noon, but there are ways around that, especially with that immortality field from Regina. So right now I think Lunar Flare is kind of in the driver's seat. We're gonna have to see what they can do here with a pretty mediocre.
Oh, dueling Riptires. Candymon's gonna get 2. Snoop Bear only gonna get 1. So it looks like Nia Ninja's going to be stopping this push in its tracks right at the corner of death. And once again, we're in the same space. What can Lunar Flare do now that they're in the exact same position that Nia Ninjas was in for quite a long time on the last point?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if Lunar Flare understands how to break their own defense here. We see a lot in these lower elos. People know how to play comps, but they don't really understand them well enough to be able to beat them when it's their turn to run into them. And so I'm curious to know if Lunar Flare has the know-how to know how to get around a composition that's set up like this. It's also important to note that because there's no Orisa on the side of Nia Ninjas, they can't use ult to really keep them in place. But, you know, a Junkrat can do just the same.
And he's just going to go directly into Lunar Flare's team, getting a small little bubble, but Espada picking off Candymon's head. So Junkrats on both sides are going to be down, and it looks like Lunar Flare's Junkrat is going to be there a little bit faster, a little bit closer of a spawn. And now we just gotta push forward, take as much space as possible. Remember, high ground is always the control. E4E going down, 1 healer down. Right now, Desperado Dud needs to get that shatter up. Hopefully able to do a lot more than he thinks. Candymon's another Riptire! Oh, he's not gonna be able to pull it out. V-Drop gonna be coming out, get somebody, and he's gonna try and get Snoop Bear. His opposite is going to go down. And now V-Drop for Nia Ninjas. They're gonna be able to hold heavily, putting down as many ultimates as they could to counter Lunar Flare's heavy push. Now Espada and Snow Ferret coming up on their DPS ultimates as well. We're going to have a supercharger and a amplification matrix. So Nia Ninjas needs to hold that shatter and that Deadeye in order to counter what Lunar Flare is going to be doing. Oh, and he gets Espada!
Very, very good job of using that Deadeye when they're out in the open like that. It's really hard to avoid that because of the damage ramp up on that Deadeye that helps it get through shields that's being held for too long. And even just that one pick is enough to put Nia Ninjas in a really, really good spot.
Yeah. Candymon going to be going around. They know where that Junkrat tire is. Double Dollar going down. That's one of the worst people to go down. Snoop Ferret taking down Desperado Dud. And there is 2 main players down for Nia Ninjas, and Candymon playing for his sins of flanking all the time. And now there's only 3-4 holding with so many ultimates for Lunar Flare to spare to go ahead and cap this final point.
Yeah, they are in overtime though, so if they get pushed off the card, they lose it here. So they've definitely got to win this fight.
Oh, Bob carry!
Yeah, that's gonna do it. Bob with the window, a very unorthodox combo, but I mean, it's not broken, don't fix it. And now Lunar Flare is going to be rolling into third point with a supercharger to spare, which, you know, is such a strong ultimate, it can win fights on its own. That's just like a huge damage boost to everyone on your team. Is so powerful, especially with the characters that are being played right now.
Perhaps you're going to be switching over back to that Doomfist. Double Dollar with the amplification matrix, so they have to be very, very careful going into this one. So supercharger versus amp matrix, and we are going to get a beat drop. Candymon's going to be just waiting for that beat drop to fade in order to drop back down, hopefully getting 2! That's going to be a huge pick, but there is still a minute left for Lunar Flare. They need to regroup now if they even want to get another fight into this.
Yeah, but it's going to be pretty hard for them here. E4E is going to have that sound barrier, which is, you know, really strong at dealing with a lot of offensive abilities, and there are a lot of really good ultimates available for Lunar Flare right now. They're going to be close to Snoop Ferret's tire, and they're going to have this this Earth Shatter, and one of those is going to have to find the value, or E4E can almost single-handedly mitigate the damage.
Espada almost going down, and Snoop Ferret also, Snoop Ferret's going down to the shatter, just land onto Desperado, but that immortality field is just enough to keep him up, and the beat drop comes out, keeping him alive. Right now, Nia Ninja's completely up, no worries, no fear. Espada taking down Candymon though, and the shatter coming out, able to take down 4, and Desperado Dud is just gonna go into the back line, taking out as many as he can, getting the back teeth. swinging away. Doofus dropping down. There's not too much else that Nia Ninjas has to do. Lunar Flare cleared off the point. Nia Ninjas are going to tie up this series 1-1.
And this is something that I was concerned about after that first map. I talked a little bit about how that Rhina is only really good on those close quarters maps, and I really feel like they struggled to get a lot of value out of that Rhina combo in this more open map. They still played it pretty well, and they did have moments where it went well for them. But I think the more flexible combo of the Ryan Zarya was just able to find much more openings against Lunar Flare. So now we will be 1-1 going into our next map here. And it's gonna come down to who can find the right stuff.
Honestly, and maybe the Doomfist didn't work out too well, at least on this point. But switching over to the McCree, Ryan Zarya, they were able to do so much. And now with the dueling Junkrats as well, Snoopfair did so well on the Junkrat. But now we have Candymon switching over to the Junkrat as well. And both their numbers are nearly identical, except for one stat. Final blows per 10. Candymon is just completely eliminating people. Him in his flanking style. He did get punished for it a few times, but Candymon's able to do a lot of damage into these pushing in into Lunar Flare, pushing in very, very hard, very, very aggressively.
Yeah, no, and I definitely think that the Junkrat is going to be something they want to consider switching. While it's clearly one of Snoop favorites, one of Snoop Ferret's favorites, I don't think it's going to. It's not a very consistent pick, right? Junkrat's a very niche character. His niche is I'm going to throw a lot of damage at a lot of people who are grouped up very closely, right? And in more open maps, it's not going to work as well, right? Now we are going on to Hybrid next. So it's possible if we go to something like King's Row, we could still see that Junkrat, and I can still see it working. But I think it's something that they have to consider changing up. Maybe throw in an Echo in there, consider going to a Kree, anything like that. I think just those small changes to give yourself a more consistent option could be what makes or breaks it for Lunar Flare.
Most definitely. And it seems like, again, we're going to have a very dominant control map, and then Rialto is going to swing the momentum. So now we have this kind of same situation. We are 1-1, where one team was dominant on one and the other team was able to pull it back with an adjustment. And we're going to be going into this hybrid map after this break. So be sure to stay tuned. We have a 1-1 game between Lunar Flare and Nia Ninjas. Be sure. Welcome back to Get Good Rookie Division Winners Finals between Lunar Flare and Nia Ninjas. We are tied 1-1 going into hybrid. We've seen these teams kind of stick to their guns. We saw Nia Ninjas kind of adjust, playing a little bit of a mirror to Lunar Flare. And now we're going into map 3 tied. What do you expect to see, and what map do you really want to see on this hybrid map for either team with Lunar Flare picking?
We're going to King's Row, especially because this is our plat division, right? Yeah, we're going to King's Row. That's just every plat team and their brother picks King's Row. Why? Because it's the best map in the game, and everyone's comfortable with it. You will never find a player who says King's Row is their worst map. That person does not exist, because King's Row is everyone's favorite map, right?
What if we get like Blizzard World or something? No, I'm joking.
Blizzard World. If we got Blizzard World, I honestly I'd be okay with that. I think Blizzard World is a very underrated map. I know everyone hates it, but I actually really like it.
I enjoy Blizzard World. I think I'm just a sadist though.
I don't know, man. I just like the fact that I can play Zen on there and like almost any meta, and people like won't yell at me because the sightlines are long enough for me to get value. And I like Zenyatta, so I like playing him. I can't do that on King's Row, which is where we're probably going.
I mean, you can, but you'd have to play high ground and have little bits of room. And yeah, we're going to be going King's Row.
Look, man, I'm just a prophet. What can I say? I'm right 100% of the time.
Obviously, that not accounting for the replay if we do it from last game of the what? Five or six instances of Caster's Curse and immediately happening too. Not even like I said this and it happens like a couple rounds later. Nope, immediately.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm telling you, they were listening to me and they just wanted to make me look stupid. That's all it was. They heard me and they were like, I want to make this guy look as dumb as possible, so I'm just going to do the exact opposite of what he says. And you know what? Hey, I love that for them, all right? I love that they have that level of dedication to making the casters' lives horrible. That I appreciate that someone is that dedicated to it. I can respect it.
Honestly, but going into King's Row, obviously we see Lunar Flare running this Orisa Reinhardt composition. Do you think they kind of stick to that, or do you think they maybe try and change it up and go like pure brawl?
I think especially on defense, they're running the Orisa Rein. I think it's really good on this first point where it's hard. Like high ground's pretty inaccessible to the attacking team, which means they kind of have like one of Orisa's biggest weaknesses is when people get above her, right? Because her shield is really good at holding like how should I put this? The angles that it blocks are really good linearly, but from high ground, Orisa's shield's not as like detrimental to you, right? Looks like they won't be opting for it though. They are going to be going for the Zarya, which I think actually is like a better overall pick. It's much more fluid and it's much more versatile than the Orisa. So I do like this from them. I actually just wholesale like their comp. I like the Lucio. I like the Ana. Ana's just a great character. They will struggle a little bit in the sustained battle against a Junkrat Hanzo and a BAP, but they will be able to get that nano up more often, which will give them much more playmaking potential. So we'll just have to see if they're able to play slow enough for that nano.
Yeah, and then Lunar Flare are going to be jumping directly into some Junkrat mines. Ugh. That's
a free 30%.
That is a free 30%, and that's a whole lot of damage. Candymon's going to be sticking with that Junkrat for this map, and I don't see why not. You're going to be just getting slow. Candymon's got to be careful for that Hanzo, and they're going to be pushing onto point. Hanzo going to be going through, hopefully taking down the Zarya, but both a tank going down on either side, losing your Reinhardt on one side, but now both the entire tank line of Nia Ninja is going to be going down, and now an amplification matrix already out. Snoop Barrett, oh, gotta watch out for the flank grab. Don't get hit by the flank grab. Snoop Barrett taking care of his counterpart, and now we're going to be able to take first point in relatively quick time.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what they wanted out of that. Candymons will be able to have this this Riptire available. No defensive ultimates available for Lunar Flare, so I think Candymons can catch them off guard and help his team stabilize, but he's coming back from spawn right now, and I believe he got split bomb. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, no, it doesn't look like he did, so he will be in position now to let this Riptire fly. He's got to do it before Jacket Man gets that.
Candymons again going to be flanking, and he's going to be found out by Snooper Ferret. And, oh, the tire going to be coming out. Who's it going to be going for? Looks like it's just going to be waiting. Going to be... you're just going to get the Junkrats dueling in the background. Don't worry about it.
That was just revenge. That's what that was.
I mean, what else can you really ask for? And the charge going to be going in, and the Sampler going to be coming up. Well, Surge is going to make sure that nobody escapes alive.
That was a great play. I get
ultimates.
But why? Yeah, I was like, why are we throwing in the grab dragons? That's a really powerful ultimate combo. And now they've given away their win condition for the next fight. They will have a Riptire from Snoop Ferret. But again, that's a really risky ultimate, and E4E is going to have that sound barrier to counter it. So Lunar Flare might have just put themselves in a really bad position here. They need to win this fight, or they could be in big trouble.
And they're gonna push him with beat, but Death Rattle Dud gonna be going down, and down goes Disease. Tank line gone for Nia Ninjas, and they're gonna be pushed in completely. If that streak phase down, 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go. This is still one of the most defendable points on King's Row. Candymons has to be very careful. Gonna be sneaking around just again. And now he's just gonna be waiting for that point to just go by and see anyone on point, but he's gonna be found out and not gonna get too much value.
Yeah, that was a good idea, but he waited a little bit too long to pounce on the Lucio there, and then he's immediately found out.
Here goes the Graviton Surge, trying to push him. Trying to push the Apsy, taking down Snoop Barrett, and we're going to be getting that Doofus once again, and Candymon's in the back, and at this point, he's kind of just not really helping his team too much right now, but it looks like he's going to try and take out as many as humanly possible, going to get 2, but Lunar Flare was already kind of backing out, getting that reset done. So, Nia Ninja's kind of maybe wasting a Riptide there. But, hey, maybe they were doing a soft reset, now they're going to force him to do a hard reset, so now Lunar Flare has to back up. They almost do have that Dragons online, and they do have that Amplification Matrix, so they do have to be careful, but they do have a Shatter to counter that Matrix.
Yeah, that's obviously, especially in this elo, something you really got to white out for. Once that Matrix goes up, all the Ryans just immediately fire strike, and it can lead to some really big Shatter plays if you know how to look for it.
Yeah, and now they're just going to kind of back off. His shield is already gone. and now they're just kind of waiting around the corner, waiting for that shatter opportunity. There is a nano boost for Double Dollar, and he's going to try and hit the shatter, push forward, and not going to be able to hit anything. Desperado, very, very, very low, but we're going to get a nano boosted Doomfist. He's not going to land that punch in the shatter, going down. He's going to get 3, but Snoop Barrett getting 2 of his own is only costing him his life, but they're going to be able to go forward. And Lazy Turtle, 100 charge, almost a Graviton Surge.
They have
with
to grab
Espada.
dragons. They need to pull it. Yes! Yes! This is what I like
Exactly what they need to do.
Where's the dragon third? It's a little late now.
It's a bit late, but it is going to cut off the team from being able to touch the point. And Snoop Barrett is able to probably clear off that point with this Riptire. He's going to go in. Maybe he's going to go for the revenge play. Revenge play, boy! That may not have been the best use of the Riptire. Lazy Turtle going to be going down. And now we have Snoop Barrett, but he got so much damage, so long. Double Dollar not even going to get out of the spawn doors. Dud going to be pushed out. They're going to be able to push point with 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go. You think the Junkrats don't like each other?
No, I have no idea why you'd say that. I physically cannot imagine whatsoever what could be causing that opinion. But yeah, I do love that they're just solo centering each other. That's really, I love that. You honestly love to see it. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, right? You don't get this at the GM level, right? You don't get people doing this because it's not the right thing to do. But you know what it is? It's entertaining, and I like it, and I fully support what these two players are doing right now. Let's talk about what I don't fully support, right? I think that Lazy Turtle made a great play there, right? That level of aggression is not something we see usually at the Platinum Elo, but he saw that. He saw there's 3 people there. It doesn't matter if we don't need to wait for a full fight. We can finish them off the grab now, right? Throws the grab. It's beautiful. Gets all 3, but Espada's just not ready for it. And the grab dragons doesn't happen. And that could have allowed Nia Ninjas to get back out of their spawn and really find a contest. They weren't able to. The fight just went the way of Lunar Flare. But little mistakes like that can build up really, really quickly, right? If that fight gets turned around, that makes Lunar Flare, it puts them in a really, really bad spot now. They really have to clean up the way they're using these grab dragons because it's such a powerful win combo, and they haven't been able to win a fight off of it yet.
Region has yet to actually die this map. Not a single death.
That's pretty impressive.
That is very impressive, but Lunar Flare are going to be going with the Ryan Zarya on the defense, so we're going to be getting more of a kind of a mirror for either side, except Double Dollar and Hapsy going to be switching it up with the Doomfist and the Moira.
Yeah, this composition wants to play a lot faster than their last comp did, but it's still not that. The Junkrat still does not want to play as fast, so it's a little bit of a weird composition.
A little bit of real cog, but Jacket Man going to be taken down, but Espada taking down 2. And they got to watch out for that Doomfist and the Junkrat. Both DPS coming out, but Disease going to be going down, and now they just got to get the heck out of there. So much damage for Espada, already 76%, and Snoop Barrett already to 67%. Ultimate's already up for the side of Lunar Flare, but Nia Ninja is going to be coming up on a Coalescence, hopefully using the Coalescence to push in with this next fight and able to hopefully take down a little bit more than just the Lucia.
Yeah, if he gets this Dragons, they're all in Hotel. This could be a massacre right now if he pulls the trigger, but doesn't choose to. Not yet, at least.
He is going to be able to push it. Go ahead and split his team from them. Able to get Desperado done, and that's 1 ultimate. Well, 2 ultimates, actually. But now you're going to be having Get Some Booty and Snoop Barrett coming up with 2 ultimates of their own. And these combos could just end up killing Nia Ninja's time. And the Coalescence not doing too much for that fight. And Candymon's having his own tire. So you think he goes for Snoop Barrett, or does he go for that triple kill again?
Honestly, I want to see him go for it.
Gonna be taken down. Not even take down Snoop Barrett, but Candymon's all the way in the back. Not even take anyone down with his tire of his own, but gets the booty just kind of trapped in there. Not really trapped in there, but kind of swinging in there. And now Nia Ninjas going down, using all of their ultimate bank, and now they have to wait for Disease and Desperado Dud to get their ultimate. So I really think that Disease and Hapsy are going to be looking for that combo, that Space Jam combo, to hopefully win over this point. But with a minute 55 left, it is a little bit worrying that they are slowly coming up on that.
Yeah, no, Lunar Flare.
Oh, the beautiful shatter! Perhaps he's going to be hopefully taking down one, but he has so much shield. Meteor Strike going to be coming down. He does take down two. Almost takes down Snoop Bear, and he's going to be taking him down three.
Attaboy. Very, very good follow-up off the back of that shatter. That was a beautiful shatter and beautiful follow-up all around. And that's the break that Nia Ninjas needed in the Lunar Flare defense. They will now be able to start pushing that payload after unlocking it on first point. But the thing they've got to be aware of now is they have multiple ultimates that can be used to stop their attack now. They will have some fair ones of their own, but if you look at the ult counting right now, the only big difference is there's a window versus a coalescence, right? The grab and the sound barrier on both sides. And I think the window is just better, but the spawn is going to play Candyman.
Now we're going to be getting this Graviton Surge through. Oh, they're just going to get mowed down with the Amplification Matrix. But I feel like Espada now having that Dragon's not going to be having that Graviton Surge. I don't think they needed the Graviton Surge to win that fight. They were down a small hallway. All they had to do was kind of spam down that hallway through the Amp Matrix.
Yeah, you know, that's probably true, but I do like the aggression there, and they still do have that Riptire and that Dragon, so they should be okay. They just have to be aware of the enemy's Graviton Surge.
Ooh, Disease gonna be going down with some high charge, but Baptiste gonna be going down for Lunar Flare, and now again, they're gonna be being flanked by Candybots, who has a Riptire ready and waiting to go, and he's gonna be going over the top, looking for three, gets two! Espada taking down Candymons, but he's going to be immediately returning the favor.
Yeah, Nia Ninja's now going to find a break in the defense here, and they're going to still be able to have this Graviton Surge. I expected them to lose that fight once they lost the Z's. They're able to find the picks they need, and now they're in a good spot here. They can use this this Graviton and Coalescence here to really push an advantage. I'd like to see them pop the Coalescence first and really push their advantage before popping that Graviton. That's
exactly what they need to do. Watch for that Shatter. He's going to be looking for another huge Shatter. Not going to hit anybody, but Desperado done going down! Not even to get that Shatter off in time, and Lunar Flare going to be pushing their aggression. No Coalescence aggression. The Reinhardt puts down a shield or not, you're going to get charged.
Yeah. Disease is holding this grab until, like, Overwatch 2 here. There was, like, he totally could have gone for the grab there. Once the Shatter comes out, like, obviously, I'm sure the fight plan was Coalescence in, try to look for Desperate Shatter. But you can pop the grab there. There's no shame in it.
Oh, and no one with this Shatter. Graviton Surge finally coming out, but the Beat Rock's gonna be coming down. Dragon's gonna be going down the hall, and now Immortality Fuel popping out. So many support ultimates. No damage really done with these ultimates. And here comes Desperado Dud taking down two. Snoop Bear going down. Candyman's dying to the mark. But now they're gonna be going. Get somebody. Desperado Dud. No more Reinhardt for Nia Ninjas. And now they're going to be trying to take down the Reinhardt. Gets the booty. Going down. Disease. Such high charge. Zaryas are terrifying when they are this high charged. And they're going to be able to cap points.
That's pretty big for them. They cap it with like not a great time, but not a horrible one either. I think they definitely are still in a good position here to cap this third point here. They are lacking in the ultimate economy though right now. The Graviton Surge and that Dragon's available for Lunar Flare. But now we're seeing them switch over to a Brigida off that Lucio. That could be a really, really big issue now because now Nia Ninjas can play so much faster than Lunar Flare.
Oh!
Well, not if he gets killed.
Not if he gets killed, and now Snoop Bear going to be taking down that top row. And oh, they went for the grab. Dragon's getting Desperado Dud, but having no Reinhardt is really going to do you some issues, so they can't really push in too much. And I think right now Lunar Flare just needs to kind of let them back out, not losing too much, and that Shatter's not going to really catch anybody right now. But it looks like Espada is going to be switching off of that Hanzo now.
Curious to know what he's going to want to go to here. Looks like he's going over to the McCree, so they're going to play a much more defensive style.
Well, hi, Doomfist!
There you go.
Yeah, they don't want anyone diving their supports, and the Immortality Field is going to be coming out. Get some booty, not able to land his Shatter, but oh, Desperado Dud once again going down in that Reinhardt v Reinhardt. And now the bubble coming out, Lazy Turtle 100 charge. They're going to be able to push their aggression forward. And now we have under a minute. Get some booty going down to the boot. Going a little bit too overextending. And both tanks are going to be down for Lunar Flare. And it's exactly what they did not want to happen. No tank line. And now they're going to be backed up into their spawn. 53 seconds for Lunar Flare to see if they can try and contest this one. No real ultimates except for the Amplification Matrix. Jacket Man going to be taken down. Johnny going to be coming out. Desperado's dying, but the rest of his team is going to be finishing off Lunar Flare. It looks like they're just barely able to contest, but it looks like the Ninja's going to be able to cap with just under a minute to go. So we're going to get 1 minute for Nia Ninjas. Go ahead and try and cap first point.
3-3.
Yeah, no, and this is where the going gets tough now. We have a similar situation that we had in our expert division game, where one of our teams has a very small time bank comparatively to their opponents, right? That 3:37 versus that 1 minute here. And what this means is that Nia Ninjas has a much smaller room for error, right? They have to cap. They cannot push this to a situation in which there is if they get full health here. Basically, what I'm trying to say is they lose, right? 3 minutes 37 seconds is more than enough time to cap a tick off of first point. Lunar Flare did it in much shorter time than that previously. So if Nia Ninjas cannot put something together here on their attack, they're in serious trouble here. And this is where you gotta, gauge that. Do we stick with what's working, or do we try to catch our opponents off guard, try to play for something risky? And it looks like they are going to opt for a more traditional composition, one of the things they've been running earlier with this Brawl composition.
Yeah, and Snow Ferret on this Junkrat, 12,000 damage done, 27 elims and 16 final blows, 5 Riptires. I mean, come on. You guys getting some Riptires pretty quickly, and right now, what they need to worry about is Hapsy and Candy Bonds. Candy Bond is doing these humongous flanks, able to pick at least one of the supports, and Hapsy not being dealt with. When he is not dealt with, he is able to get multiple kills.
Well, speaking of kills,
yep, that could happen too. And now they're just gonna have to wait for their Baptiste.
Yeah, that's actually a really big pick too, because that they can't even poke now because they can't get healed, and that's gonna give Snow Ferret a little bit of an advantage in the ult charge thing. If he's able to get a Riptire here early on, that could be next level disaster for Nia Ninjas.
Oh, Espada with the fadeaway pick onto E4E, and that's a horrible pick. Both supports getting picked off at separate points during this push.
Yeah, now that's again more time off the clock here for Nia Ninjas, and now they only are going to have one clean fight against Lunar Flare.
Oh no, Candy Mon's got bombed down now, and they're going to be pushing in. Candy Mon's giving his life to this push because he's taking out Snow Ferret. But it looks like the Reinhardt Desperado death going down, and now there's your shield tank, and now you have to worry about all this damage not being soaked up by that shield anymore. Lazy Turtle with 100 shards. They really have to deal with that Doofus. They cannot let that Doofus take out too many. Jacket Man taken down. Oh, Candy Mons is back. Lazy Turtle still high shards, and the ball Desperado done, and they're gonna be able to grab it sick. Oh,
that's
no. It doesn't look. It looks like Nia Ninjas is going to be able to control the rest of this point, and Lunar Flare is going to be losing control. Ferret's going to be the only one on point, and that's it. They're going to be able to cap first points.
That is not how I expected that fight to end, but now we see Nia Ninjas on an extremely transitional composition. A Ball Zarya with a Lucio Bap is definitely not what you want as your composition here. So Lunar Flare does have the ability to win this, especially because they have that Grab Dragons coming online. Actually, they've got pretty much all their ults coming online here. So Nia Ninjas needs to use their ultimates first, even if their comp isn't as good with it.
Yes, and Desperado does switching back over, and Hapsy and Candymon, if they can come out on that with their ultimates very quickly. Candymon taking out Jacket Man as a humongous pick for this Streets phase. He's going to be pushing forward. Candymon looking for a couple of pickoffs. I don't know if they're going to be going for that, but they're going to be going for the Graviton, and they're going to just need to destroy that, and he's not going to destroy it in time because he's going down. Hapsy going to be finishing that off, and it looks like the entire Streets phase is going to be finished off.
This is dangerous now. Nia Ninjas with all the momentum here. They can easily push this through the rest of Streets phase if they're smart about it. They need to use that window early, right as Lunar Flare turns that corner, or else they're in trouble because Lunar Flare has 6 ultimates right now. They need, if Nia Ninjas goes first, they still have the advantage, but 6 ultimates is a very scary thing to walk into.
Oh, and they're going to be able to cap it. That is 2 points cap. Lunar Flare may be able to stop, and here's going to be all the ultimates for Lunar Flare. Just press Q. And they're going to go ahead and push forward, and it looks like Nia Ninjas are going to be stopped right here on point 2. But that is a Herculean push from Nia Ninjas.
Yeah, that is exactly what that is. That's a really, really nice effort there from the Ninjas. With a minute left, I said the one thing they can't do is get full health, and they didn't. They were able to cap 2 points. And while, you know, that's not 3, that's definitely better than what everyone here expected them to do. So now the pressure is on Lunar Flare. They have that larger time bank, but they have to actually make use of it. They cannot let this go to waste now. If they're able to get an early fight win, that's a great advantage, but they can still do the same thing that Nia Ninjas did and, you know, cap late there in overtime and then push all the way through. There's honestly no telling how this game is going to end up.
No, and right now, you know, Lunar Flare does have the advantage. They were able to cap pretty early, so right now, Nia Ninja needs to watch out for that aggression from Lunar Flare.
Possibly.
Yes,
Potentially.
Potentially.
Perhaps. Other
are
keywords that are ambiguous in meaning.
We are going to get identical compositions once again, but we are going to have a slight change for Lunar Flame. Looks like we're going to have an Echo and a Kree. We don't know if we're going to stick with that until they walk out of spawn, but I could see that change definitely throwing off Nia Ninjas.
Yeah, especially without that hit scan on their side. The only person who's really going to be able to take care of Snoop Ferret is going to be Double Dollar, and that's a pretty tall order considering how many responsibilities a BAP has in a comp like this. Healing the team, also outputting that damage, also contributing to shield break. There's just a lot that you have to do as the BAP piece, and it can be hard to 1v1 an Echo while you're doing all that.
Not everyone is Violet.
Yeah, true.
Snoop Ferret going to be sticking over with that Echo. Going to be up top. Sticking those sticky bombs. Oh, dude, be careful. You don't want to get hit by those fire strikes too often. This is another one where I'm just like, do you really want to go into the hotel against an Echo where they can just pop that sticky bombs in there? Double Dollar going to be taking that. Candymon's going to be able to take out Jacket Man. And Candymon's, again, with this flank. He's always flanking. You got to be careful for the flank rat. Spot taking down the Junkrat, Disease, almost taking down Lazy Turtle, but Habsy picking up the scraps and able to finish him off.
Yeah, Nia Ninja's here with a good first hold. They do have ultimates coming online here, but so does Lunar Flare. They're going to have that Echo ultimate and the window of their own here. So Nia Ninjas is going to have to get this Riptire if they want to have an ultimate advantage here.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting the duplicate coming out, and that's a flying Reinhardt. Not even get that shatter. Oh, he is able to get the shatter off just barely. Give me some booty. Give me some booty. He's going to be able to go in there, finish off all of the picks. Oh, he's not even to take down Double Dollar. Jacket Man taking down Double Dollar, trying to carry. But it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Are they going to be able to get back and contest? Oh, I saw that tactical crouch.
Yeah, now Lunar Flare is in a really good spot here. They have time on the clock, which means they can push forward on this Streets phase and take a corner, which it looks like they are going to do. Nia Ninjas is incorrectly giving up space right now. It looks like they're trying to cut their losses and hold around the spot they need to hold, but all they're really doing is giving up a positional advantage now by giving Bookstore to Lunar Flare.
They are giving up a lot of the positional advantage, and Desperado Dev with this Earth Shatter. We're going to be coming up on a beat drop as well as a Graviton Surge, so we may get a Space Jam, you know, Jupit's Ultimate and a Graviton Surge through here on this Streets phase, but Graviton Surge is already up and ready for Lunar Flare, so they can try and end this fight immediately and try and take out where they are right now. And the Shatter could be coming out. Gotta be careful for that Shatter. Graviton Surge coming out. Amplification Matrix, you gotta be careful for that Jupit's Ultimate. Beat drop able to save them. Haxi getting taken down with the Stun Laser Turtle going down before he can really pop that Graviton Surge. They gotta be careful for this Amp Matrix. They're probably gonna try and push in with this one. They gotta be careful for that Shatter, so they gotta hope Desperado Dud gets back in time before they can really pop anything on this team. You have a duplicate coming through. Maybe we get another Graviton Surge for this one. They are so close to finishing this point. And here comes the Deadeye coming in. Candymon's not able to really see anyone. Shatter going down is gonna catch him! Oh, Lunar Flare gonna clean up the rest of the point with the Graviton Surge from the duplicated Echo. Duplicated Zarya, and they're gonna be able to take this point 30 meters, 0.3 meters, and they're going to be able to take a 2-1 lead on Nia Ninjas. Lunar Flare up 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, Nia Ninjas gave it a good effort, but Lunar Flare just consistently able to do exactly what they need to do to get the W in this second round. And now we are going to the final. Well, I shouldn't say final because we don't know.
Don't say final.
But it's the potential final map for Nia Ninjas here, right? We will be going to Assault next, and it's their, they get to pick, right? And this is going to make or break their chances now because, this is, if they lose the next map, they lose the series, right? And if they win the next map, we can send it to a map 5, which would make this a very, very long game. But hey, I'm here for it.
Hey, we could always go to map 7.
Please no.
Why not? You don't want to go to map 8, 9, 10? That'd be so much fun. No, but we're going to be going to Assault because Assault still exists.
Unfortunately, I cannot tell you how excited I am to play Overwatch 2 4 years from now, tier, and not have to queue in to Assault. I cannot tell you how excited that makes me that one day I won't have to worry about seeing Temple of Anubis pop up on my screen when I'm playing ranked.
You want to know what's going to happen? They're going to make Temple of Anubis and other maps like that, like hybrid maps for somehow, or control maps.
I'd be okay with that though, right? Like that would be pretty cool.
But they keep the same map geometry.
That would not be pretty cool. I would not be a fan of that.
That's why it's going to take 4 years. They're going to completely redesign the maps. But going into this next one, we did see Lunar Flare completely adjust their composition to counter what Nia Ninjas was doing. And honestly, like, finally seeing Lunar Flare kind of switching off of that Junkrat, kind of showing a new look. That Echo was so instrumental in that final point. That with that duplicate, that Graviton Surge, that was able to completely wipe out Nia Ninjas from the point.
Yeah, no. I'm excited for this next match for sure. I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched right now. Lunar Flare has consistently been just a little bit better, but it hasn't been by much. I definitely think Nia Ninjas has, a way to win this match here. I think it will come down to their map pick. Given the compositions that they like to play, I think Temple of Anubis will probably be their best bet. However, I think it's also going to be the best bet of Lunar Flare because both these teams have been favoring that Junkrat, and Temple of Anubis is, of course, Junkrat's best map in the entire game.
And
so,
I do see
double-edged sword.
I do see that Nia Ninjas also has Hanamura listed as their favorite map.
Well, I mean, Junkrat's pretty good there too.
Yeah, and we've seen Junkrats, really thrive there, but we've also seen hit scans and kind of brawly compositions. Maybe we'd see like a gadget composition like a Symmetra.
Potentially. I don't know. We won't know until we go there, which we have not got our map pick yet, so all we can do is speculate at this point here.
Maybe we'll get Volskaya again.
Honestly, I'd be okay with that. I think of the three assault maps that are available, I think Volskaya is my favorite. I mean, Hanamura is good, okay, like meta dependent. It's pretty good. I think in the current meta, it's not that fun. But yeah, no, I like Volskaya Industries, and I think it's good, especially because I don't think Junkrat's very good here. And Snoop Ferret is very, very, he's been using it a lot, right? He's been pretty good on that character, and I think Nia Ninjas knows they can play other things, right? So they're going to try to exploit that and, go to a map where the Junkrat's not going to find the same value, and they're going to try to win with a different composition.
Yes, and I do enjoy Volskaya Industries. It's definitely one of those ones where, we saw a little bit of a different compositions being played in the expert division earlier. I could definitely see both of these teams kind of going for the brawl look, trying to keep that choke under control and kind of hold the other team there. We could see a Junkrat on both sides, but we could also see Lunar Flare pulling out that Echo.
Yeah, no, Echo's pretty good here. Echo's a really good character, so she's good pretty much everywhere. But especially on this map where she has high grounds that she can set up on, I think that she can be a very, very strong pick. So I'd like to see if these teams will decide to pull that out here.
Yes, and looking at this match up going forward.
Oh, Hapsy's out.
Hapsy is out, so we are going to get a change. No Limit is going to be coming in for Hapsy, so we are going to be getting that hit scan for Nia Ninja. So we're not going to be seeing that Doomfist anymore, but we are going to be seeing that hit scan for them now. And Double Dollar are going to be playing over to the Ana now. So this can definitely change up a little bit of the comp, but maybe they put in No Limit because they're expecting Snoop Ferret to go ahead and play that Echo once again, and they do not want to get caught out by that Echo again.
Yeah, for sure. I do like these comps, though. I think the double bubble is something that we haven't been treated to yet And I like it personally. I think it's one of the more interesting types of dive comps because it has that brawl hybrid in it. And I think that leads to some very interesting fights where you have that Winston to cut off the back line, and then that Zarya, that Ana, that Brig push in, and it's really, really cool to watch.
It's very, very, very cool to watch, and looking at Snow Ferret, looking to get as much damage as possible, now knowing that there is an Ashe now, so he does have to be very careful about flying into the skies willy-nilly.
Yeah, this Ashe Junkrat's a pretty good comp at low elo, just because Ashe is pretty consistent and Junkrat's really high damage. There you go. It just covers a lot of options really well.
Ooh, the Winston almost going down, having to hide, get a lot of healing, but Jacket Man gonna go down to Desperado Dud, kind of pushing in. Right now, I really think that Get Some Booty needs to try and control that high ground and not really try and go into the brunt of this brawl comp.
Yeah, you really have to stage with this double bubble comp into a dive. Using high ground is a really, really good idea, especially when they have characters like an Ashe or Junkrat who love being on that high ground. Just taking that bunker area on Winston, no one can really get you off of it on this brawl composition because they're on the ground, right? And even those players that can contest you will quickly leave as soon as that Echo comes to help you out, or as soon as it's established that the Ana can deal that Winston from afar. It can just be a really, really good way to set up position. You shouldn't engage right away.
Ooh, Candymon's going to be going down low, going to be backing up. Winston now controlling this high point, and Candymon's going to try and get him, dislodge him, but not really paying too much mind to the Winston. And now No Limit pop on this high ground, taking down Espada from across the way, and I don't think Espada should try and take on a long-range duel against this Ashe from across the way. Well, that's a beautiful Graviton Surge, taking out both the healers out of the equation from Disease. And they're going to be pushing in, and right now Get Some Booty is going to be able to take down 2, but I don't think there's too much more he could do. And right now what they need to do is they need to try and stay together. Candymon's going to be switching off of the Junkrat over to the McCree, and we're going to be getting some ultimates out from Lunar Flare as well.
Yeah, they're going to have that Graviton Surge coming online. They will have that Winston Primal as well, and that Duplicate from Stu Ferret, which he's been very, very good with so far. If they can dupe that Ryan and get a Primal in there, that can cause enough disruption for a play to be made.
Yes, that could cause plenty of disruption, but then you have to be careful. This tank line for Nia Ninjas is able to play so well together right now. And there's that Reinhardt that you were talking about. He's slowly getting burned down. Not going to be able to get much of anything out of that Reinhardt duplicate. And we're going to be getting a couple of ultimates. Snow Ferret, though, taking out Desperado Dud after the charge comes through. Disease able to take him down. Trapped in the Graviton Surge. And Nia Ninjas is going to be getting sent back over to point 2. And Lunar Flare going to be capping point 1 with just under 60 seconds.
Yeah, I was really confused what was going on there because it looked like Lazy Turtle was just missing all of his shots from Disease's point of view. So I was like, what is going on here? And then I realized that he was like lining up the grab, and I was like, oh, that makes much more sense. And it was a really, really good grab, able to catch 2 in it and really secure the fight for his team. And now Lunar Flare is walking into second point. And while they don't have any ults, I think the composition they're running into heavily favors them, right? Ooh. This double bubble is going to really do some damage to a Widow right now. I think No Limit Switch here is a really bad choice.
I was about to say that as well, and now Get Some Booty is going to be on main point again. I, again, don't think that's where he should be, but he's able to get Disease. Oh, just able to get that Snowman taking out double dollar, and that's going to be all the healing for Nia Ninjas. And now the only people that they have to worry about is the Lucio and the Reinhardt, who just got naded as well. And that's going to be the end of him. And E4E, 2 birds, 1 stone. Nano boosted Winston on point. What are you really going to do? You're going to push into the nano boosted Winston? We do have a couple of ultimates coming up in both. And now Nia Ninjas has to try and push into this point. Snow Ferret going down right as he was about to get his duplicate. And that's exactly what they needed to do. Espada taking down 2. Now there is a ball right now. The Ninjas is kind of being a little bit desperate going into this next point, but right now they have the advantage, the spawn advantage, and right now Lunar Flare is not going to be able to hold up against the spawn advantage, but that is 2 ticks on point and only 1 ultimate really for Nia Ninjas.
That's what we call a 2CP moment. Lunar Flare won that fight twice, but they didn't win the fight because it's 2CP, and Ninjas can just continually recontest that point no matter what, because their spawn advantage is just that strong. And that's just like, that's what makes this map so unenjoyable, right? Like, Ninjas, don't get me wrong, did a good job recontesting it, right? But the game should not allow them to recontest that easily and to stagger that easily, right? So while they did an excellent job, I feel for my boys over on Lunar Flare having to go into that.
Here comes the Reinhardt, not really sneaking around anymore, but again, not going to get too much from that duplicate once again. And, oh, Candymon with a huge Deadeye. It doesn't look like Lunar Flare is going to be able to do too much on this push, though they do have a lot of point control. Again, this is just one of those times where it doesn't look like they're going to be able to win, and Double Dollar Disease going down, get some booty going down, though, and that's going to be loss of a main tank, and the ball coming back out. Desperado done, and E4E coming out, but we do have a Graviton Surge. He's just ready, waiting for them to come on the point. You think he's going to pop the Graviton Surge? Boom, and the beat is going to be coming through, waiting for that Graviton Surge. It's going to get E! Beautiful E, taking that Graviton Surge out of the picture. Get no limit off of that Doomfist. No, you're not the Doomfist player here, but Candymon taking out Espada, and Lunar Flare gonna be falling once again, just short of capping all 3 points.
Disease there is the hero of that fight with the Diva swap, because he knows Lazy Turtle's got that ultimate online and gets the eat. That grab was gonna get 3 people in it. That was a really big eat there from Disease, and that might have just like secured them the hold on this point. It's not all said and done yet. The only ultimate on the field is on Lunar Flare's court, so they still have a chance here, especially because of how good Bot is. And that pick especially is also going to give them an advantage here. But only 16 seconds left. This is the last fight of the game.
It's about to take you down 2. He's like, I want to cap this point. I don't want to deal with maybe them having a win condition. No, we're capping this point. Bob in the middle of point, taking down as many people. No limit, taking down the Jacket Man. But Espada is kind of killing everybody right now. And it looks like they're just barely going to be able to cap all 3 points. Here comes the ball. Get off the point, ball. Get off the point.
He's doing a great job of staying on right now, actually. This is contestable. They can stagger this.
They can't stagger this. Diva gonna be out of mech very quickly. And now, this is exactly what they needed. Graviton Surge gonna be popped out, not gonna be eaten this time, and they're gonna be able to cap both points just in time in overtime. And now, Nia Ninjas has to cap both points to even stay in this game.
Honestly, though, I feel like the momentum's still on their side. I feel like they played really well there on that defense. They did an excellent job of contesting what Lunar Flare was throwing at them. And I think they know that right now. I think they are feeling good about their chances going into this map. You can tell they're clearly practiced on it. You can tell that this is their map pick, because they look way more comfortable than Lunar Flare does. I'm curious to see what they will run out with on attack. I'm assuming it's just going to be like raw brawl. But into a double bubble defense, they could see some trouble. We'll have to see once our compositions unlock here in a few seconds.
Yes, we're going to go ahead and see. I'm curious to see what Lunar Flame is going to go ahead and play. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and go back to that Orisa that served them very well in the first map. But we are going to get Snow Ferret staying on that Echo. No Junkrat coming out. And Espada going to be sticking to that Ashe that more or less kind of won them that second point.
This is going to be a really weird composition here from Lunar Flare. What you're going to see them do is they're going to have their their core roster of that Rhine Orisa and probably their BAP and Lucio as well. They're kind of going to bunker up in like one location. There's a couple different spots they can choose, so I'm not going to predict that much. But you're going to see Espada and Snoop Ferret play different off angles if they've been coached correctly. And they'll set up a crossfire that allows for Espada to pump in a lot of damage and Snoop Ferret to get in and finish people off with that focusing beam. So this has the potential to be a really strong composition. However, it is a little bit weaker in the fact that there's not that much damage with that core roster other than the Ryan and Orisa. So if they fall, then the rest of this comp is going to crumble to the people.
Yeah, but the thing is for Nia Ninjas is that they're not really going to have any type of range damage right now. But if they are able to get close, I think that could be curtains for Lunar Flare right now.
You're absolutely right.
Candymon's immediately going to get focused down with that focus beam. He's going to have to use his rate to get the heck out of there.
it's a good fight there from Lunar Flare. You mentioned this previously, the lack of range damage here. That means that Lunar Flare, or Nia Ninjas is going to have to push really fast and really hard onto that core roster. They do not want to stay in open space for a very long time. Well, actually, now they've switched the Doofus 2 and the 3, so now they do want to have at least something to take care of this Echo, which I can respect, but it might be they're trying to hybridize it a little bit too much.
This is exactly what they need to do. They need to go ahead and take down as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. Push it quickly. Get Nature, you can take someone down. Urshar gonna be coming out. Get me some booty, gonna be going down to Disease. High charge Zaryas are terrifying. And they're just gonna go ahead and push in and roll over the Flare. Snow Bear, the duplicate, gonna be used. Not too much happening there, but Nia Ninja is just gonna go ahead and roll right through that point.
Fair and Espada tossing both of their ultimates in there, and I think that might actually be a really, really big problem here, because now Nia Ninjas is going to cap this point with about 5 minutes in their time bank, and they had a Graviton Surge, both support ultimates, a Earth Shatter, and a Death Blossom. And all Lunar Flare really has is, one measly defensive ult and a window. They'll get the Supercharge as well, but clear ult advantage for Nia Ninjas right now.
Ooh, E4E gonna be going down immediately. Snoop Ferret's low gonna be taken down finally, but Lunar Flare is gonna be able to win this fight, immediately countering that heavy push, Chid. I do enjoy that dry push from Nia Ninjas. They are able to build up a lot more ultimates, but Lunar Flare now does have that supercharger and that beat.
That was really bad there from Nia Ninjas. A key thing in Overwatch is you need to ult first, always. The team that goes first will win 9 times out of 10 right there, right? Lunar Flare won that fight for no other reason than they popped the ultimates and Nia Ninjas didn't. They held their ultimates, and for that reason, they lost the fight, and now Lunar Flare has stabilized. They're no longer just able to completely snowball them.
Yeah, but we're gonna get aggressiveness, but here comes a Graviton Surge. Beat drop from both sides, so all support ultimates are out, and that's a humongous shot of getting 6. Clearing out the rest of the point, and it looks like the end is they're going to be able to completely decimate Lunar Flare. They're just going to be going to the spawn doors. You're not allowed to cap this point. We're going to be getting these stall characters out for Lunar Flare. Barely getting back to point in time, but Disease holding up close, and now it looks like Nia Ninjas are going to be able to cap with more than enough time left, and they're only going to be able to need a tick to take this map. It's just not looking good for Nia. It is looking so good for Nia Ninjas right now. You're going to be getting many stalls, and I think right now they're just padding their stat totals.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not going the way Lunar Flare wanted it to. Nia Ninjas is going to cap with a very healthy time bank, and they will be able to. Well, I guess they haven't capped quite yet. I shouldn't count out them just yet. Okay, now we can count them out.
Now we can count them out.
Yeah, but Nia Ninjas still has a way to, not lose this map, but they can still draw it, right? Which would still put them in a disadvantageous state going into map 5. So Lunar Flare is going to have to come out with a pretty hero hold here, but Nia Ninjas has put themselves in a really good spot now. All they need to do is get 1 tick of progress in 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and that's not very hard, right? There's a lot of ways you can cheese that, right? You can run geared comps, you can play for ultimates, right? So I definitely think Nia Ninja still has the advantage right now. And they're playing really, really well on this map.
Yeah, and Lunar Flare not having an ability to close out this map anymore. They can only tie.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and I think they know that. They're going to try to play a comp that they can use for some stall, it looks like. This is a little bit of an unorthodox comp. Of course, Reaper just received that readjustment to his damage that makes him a little bit more consistent, albeit having a little bit less damage, which I think, honestly, isn't the worst trade-off. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out here for Lunar Flare. It's much different than the looks we've seen from them previously.
It's a much different look, and maybe they're just going to try and meet the composition. They're going to try and meet Nia Ninja's composition head on, hoping that they can go ahead and stop this steamroller of a composition that Nia Ninja's put out.
Defend objective A.
And we're going to go ahead and start this composition. They're just going to go ahead and meet at the choke. And we're just going to see swinging. That's a beautiful Maywall, though. Able to cut off the entire team. And Desperado does slowly going down, but Candymon showing that he is the superior Reaper. We aren't on Junkrat anymore. And No Limit almost taking down Regen Maggie. And they're just gonna go ahead and Lunar is gonna go ahead and back off a point, and oh no, the Ana caught out by herself behind Lazy Turtle, gets some booty as Spada, and there it is. Nia Ninja's gonna be taking this point, tying the series 2-2. We're gonna be going to a control point, map 5. We are guaranteed no ties.
Yeah, no, Nia Ninja's definitely turned it around in this map. You can see the dominance they have right now, and now we're gonna see if the momentum can change here, right? Because Nia Ninja has the momentum, but of course, you know, it is Lunar Flare's map. And given this Ryan Zarya composition that they're running that is so good on control, who really has the advantage right now? It's hard to say.
Yeah, and, you know, honestly looking at this map, going into control point, Nia Ninja, or Lunar Flare was so dominant on the first control point, but now Nia Ninja has that momentum, and they know this composition will work, and these compositions are very well known for being pretty well on these control maps, these King of the Hill maps. So once we return, we will let you know what our final map in this 2-2 slugfest will be, and just stay tuned. We'll go ahead and let you know. Be prepared. Welcome back to this conclusive map 5 in our rookie winners finals between Nia Ninjas and Lunar Flare. We've had an amazing 4 matches, back and forth slugfest between these two teams, and now we are finally at the final map.
Yeah, no, and I'm really excited to see how this one plays out. Both these teams have had some really good performances so far. Both these teams have had some really high impact players. We have Disease on Nia Ninjas with some really high impact off tank play, eating some grabs here and there. On Lunar Flare, we have a Spada going absolutely crazy on every character he's played so far. So I'm really excited to see which team can finish this one out.
Very excited, but we obviously have Lunar Flare. Obviously, we got to give them a little bit of an advantage because they were pretty dominant on the last control map, but Nia Ninja's having this momentum by completely being dominant on their map choice of Volskaya Industries.
Yeah, precisely. And, you know, we have to consider, right, Lunar Flare's composition is better on control, but its best map is Lijiang, right? And we are getting into Busan now, where there are maps where that Rhinoris is not very good. On Mecha Base, you can make it work, right? But on Sanctuary and on I forget the one with the train, Downtown. Thank you. Yes, that one is very open, so it's not very good for that brawl style of play. So we're probably gonna have to see Lunar Flare play something they're a little bit less comfortable with if they want to win this one.
Most definitely. And, you know, kind of looking at Busan, you can get like control, you can get that, you can get Sanctuary, which could fit the Orisa, that long range battle, the Echo, the Ash, but you could also get other things like the Mecha Base, which really heavily could favor Nia Ninjas in their hyper aggressive composition that they played on Volskaya Industries. So I'm very looking forward to seeing what kind of comps will come out for both of them, and we are going to get Mecha Base first.
So this is definitely going to be a brawl mirror. I mean, this is one of the most brawl-heavy maps in the entire game. It's just the chokes are so small. May's really good here. Doom's good here. Reaper's good here. Kree's good here. Junk's good here. There's no reason not to play brawl here unless it's a double shield meta. But fortunately, it's not, and we will see both these teams running out here on the brawl. I don't like the Ana, though. This is a map where you're going to get a lot of high damage DPS, so high sustain is kind of a must. I think a Moira or map is definitely necessary if you want to win here. I don't think playing slow for that Nano is going to be a good idea.
I don't think so either. You can play well with the Ana if the Ana can land her the anti-nades, but at this point, I think the Moira would be a better pick, maybe even the Baptiste, especially with how much damage you can do with that amplification matrix and how quickly you can build it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to go ahead and get the start of Double Dollar, taking out the Jacket Man, and that's just going to be the first pick of the game. So quickly, Nia Ninja is going to be playing this hyper-aggressive composition. Once again, Snowbear taking out E4E, but Nia Ninja's knowing exactly what they have to do to win now.
Yeah, no, and this is something I mentioned. You know, they like Jagaman just falls because he doesn't get healed, right? It's hard. It's hard to hit Lucio when you're playing Ana, and it's just even if you do hit them, it's not the amount of sustain that you get if you were playing Bap or Moira. So I just think it's too risky to be running this Ana right now.
Ooh, Candymom's gonna be flanking again. Still gonna be flanking, but get some booty. Gonna be going down to No Limit. And you got the flanking Reaper. Candymom's gonna be going down to Snowfarer. The Junkrat's gonna be coming back out, but Desperado Dud going down as well to Snowfarer. Snowfarer gonna be trying to single-handedly turn around this fight for his team. Already gonna have the Riptire. Maybe trying to pop it, trying to win this fight for his team. But that's 25% for Nia Ninjas during this fight. And they're gonna be able to be pushed forward, finally breaking this aggressive comp, but popping that nano boost in the process.
Yeah, I think there was just a lack of aggression there from Nia Ninjas. They weren't able to finish off that fight. They gave the Junkrat a little bit too much respect there, and they just let them get that nano in charge with it. And that's what Lunar Flare wants to do, even if it's hard for their composition to accomplish. So I definitely don't think that's what they wanted to see.
Maybe giving his life for that one, and he's barely just able to get out.
Saved by the skin of his teeth. Excellent Zarya bubble there.
Oh, and here comes the Graviton Surge again for more hyper-aggressive. Desperado done, and Spada taking out one, and no flanking for you, Candymons.
Yeah, that was a really big investment there from Lunar Flare, and I think they want at least one of those ultimates back. They definitely need to use all of them, but Disease did end up popping that grab. So Lunar Flare might be alright because they do have that grab as their own. They're just going to have to watch out from No Limit and Desperado Dud. If they find value from their ultimates as well, I think this could be a hard fight for Lunar Flare to win.
This could be a very hard fight for Lunar Flare to win, but if Snowfarer can get the early picks as he's been doing, and here comes the Graviton Surge, Lazy Turtle taking out Sim! And dropping in is Snowfarer. The last thing you need is the Junkrat in your back line.
I mean, there you go. That's how powerful the grab is. E4E doesn't pop the sound barrier, which may look like a bad decision, but I think because of how many people were in that grab, the sound barrier was getting it wasted. So now they have it to use as a response to Lunar Flare's beat, which I think is going to be more powerful than using it in a grab where you can't save it.
Exactly what they need to do. They need to go directly to point. Oh, Earthshatter's not going to land. We're going to have the nano boost coming out. So much more powerful. And here comes... And the Earthshatter's just going to completely shut down any type of ultimate. Laser Turtle going to be going down to No Limit, but it looks like Lunar Flare is going to be able to completely pull back Mecha Base, and it looks like they're not going to be able to... It doesn't look like Lunar Flare is going to be giving up this point anytime soon. Desperado Dead going to be switching over to the Wrecking Ball now.
Yeah, and after a bit of a rough start, Lunar Flare is going to cap Mecha Base pretty easily. Like they after a good job rotating their ults, they're able to pull out the victory here and put themselves up 1-0. It is now match point Lunar Flare.
It is now match point Lunar Flare, but depending on what round we get, we are going to get downtown next. And this is another very, very good brawl-centric point, where we actually may be able to see, as we see right now, Snowfarer coming out on this Echo, losing the Junkrat, and ooh, we may be getting the double bubble once again from Lunar Flare.
Yeah, and I think the double bubble is good here. I don't like the brawl on this map. I think because of how much high ground there is, I think it's a good idea to run this hybrid composition. What you're going to see happen here is that McCree and Brig, Ana, Zarya, they're going to push as a unit, while Snowfarer and Get the Booty are going to dive as a unit, and they are going to find kills that way, like that.
They do have to be careful for the Reaper onto their Winston. They don't want him to go down to any of that Reaper fire, building his ultimate. So we are going to get getting a little bit of a brawl. Disease and Candymon taking down the tank line. Disease pushing forward with so much damage, and that's exactly what you do not want to do as a double bubble. You do not want to try and go into it like a brawl composition.
I mean, at some point you do want to brawl, but you only really want to push with that brawl part of your team once you have established an advantage with your dive, right? And they didn't do that. They kind of went into it as like a full brawl, and that just was not how you're supposed to do that. And they fall pretty quickly there. But Snowfarer getting a lot of ult charge in the process there, so they will have at least one ultimate to show for their efforts.
E4E going down early once again. And Earthshatter going to be coming out with the duplicate, not really catching anybody. Snowfarer going to be going down, but again, this is one of those moments where they lose the first fight, maybe lose the first couple of fights, but they figure it out. They come in and completely roll Nia Ninjas, and now all Nia Ninja has is a couple of ultimates. They are going to be coming up on 4 ultimates. They're going to have the Deadeye, hopefully, to take out that Echo.
Yeah, no, Nia Ninjas, definitely not with the advantage here, but they have the tools they need to win this fight. So I think they're in a decent spot right now, especially because they have that grab, and Jackman is not close to that sound barrier right now. That could be a disaster now for Lunar Flare.
No, and E4E, also another one that has that Death Blossom from Candymon, going in, get some booty, not able to really get anyone. Disease killing himself on top of that, but Lazy Turtle going down, and...
Oh, baby!
Beautiful Earthshatter into a Deadeye, and Lunar Flare is able to completely flip that fight on its head.
I would say that was an overinvestment, but considering the ult economy for Nia Ninjas right now, I think Lunar Flare is still in a good spot. They still have their grab and they still have their defensive ultimate right now, and Nia Ninjas used everything to get into that fight. So I think it's okay to do a little bit of an overinvestment just to make sure you complete the fight.
And we do have a Graviton Surge just ready and waiting, and there it is. They're going to be nated as well, but not going to be able to heal right through that. And no limit, they're going to be alone on point, getting picked off. Double dollar, only ultimate for Nia Ninjas coming into this next fight. Oh, and they still have a nano boost and a duplicate coming up. And really all E4E has, the only ultimate they have is the Coalescence and the Beat Drop.
Yeah, no, this is looking really bad now for Nia Ninjas. They are in a pretty bad spot here. They need to get value out of this Coalescence.
Oh, no, You're going to get a nano boost coming out. He almost has an Earthshatter, so he's just going to be waiting for them to pop onto point. You got the double Reinhardt, the double Shatter. Shatter going to be coming out. Double Shatter, Earthshatter, Red-Eye, and it looks like Nia Ninjas is going to be cleared off of point. And Lunar Flare is going to win this game just barely. 3-2 overtime ticking down. Nia Ninja is going to be moving on in these playoffs.
And honestly, that was a great game from both sides there. That was a great match all around. Both teams played very well. Every player had moments where they played well. But Lunar Flare just a little bit better in the end, able to take the victory over Nia Ninjas.
Yes, and Lunar Flare was able to adjust so quickly, so easily, and obviously you can tell their favorite map type is definitely going to be that control point. And looking forward into this match, 3-2, amazing match. We've had 2 amazing matches today, but looking at the entire team, who would you say your most valuable player was for either team?
I gotta give it to Espada. I think Espada played very, very well, popping off on pretty much everything. And yeah, you got to give it to him. I think everyone played very, very well on both sides. But Espada just had a ton of high impact plays there on the Kree, on the Ashe, on everything. And when you have a DPS player that's that dangerous, it leads to wins like we saw today.
Most definitely, and I feel like the entire team for Nia Ninjas and Lunar Flare, completely showed everything that they have, and I feel like both teams deserved the spotlight, and we could actually see these teams even rematch later on in the bracket. So I would love to see a rematch between these two teams. So I'm very happy, looking forward, and that's it for today. Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this Get Good tournament. We're very, very excited that we can go ahead and put this tournament on for you. Thank you to ExpressVPN again. And thank you to Elohel Esports. We also want to thank our amazing production team, amazing mods in Vigdictus, Zathon, Will English. And, I want to thank you, Misfit, for even coming on to here with me, enjoying my craziness.
No, it was a fun 2 games all around, and I really enjoyed everything that I got to see tonight. We got to see some great matches, both high elo and low, and honestly, it just comes down to the fact that all Overwatch is beautiful, no matter how bad it is.
I wouldn't call it bad. It's good for some people.
Yeah, I think that just about wraps it up for us. Thank you all for coming out and watching us and all the craziness that we put on here at Get Good. and we hope to see you guys next time.
Right.